So me and my wife are in Norway, and we reached a hilltop here in Norway, and we are on our way to a bunker or an old German fortification. We were walking, this is our pathway, just walking up here, and we were walking along our designated path, and some may not notice, but see this? It just kind of looks like a trench. Nothing crazy, but maybe you thought it was dug out, nothing crazy. Just walking along the path, and then you start to realize, wait a second, I started realizing that those, I don't know if you can see in there, are stacked stones. And we're on top of a hill, so it only makes sense. So I backtracked it even more, and there's stones all along this wall. So those are all stones. The whole thing is stones, and then if you notice, this curves, and it curves right out to that path leading right up. So this is actually a German trench. And I reckon there's maybe even something on the other side of it, but this is right at the hilltop, which makes perfect sense. And it's not super deep, in some spots it is, but we kept following it right along, and it's still a trench. And then look at this. Look at that. This is definitely a German bunker right on the side of the hillside that would have been overlooking naval vessels. This is so awesome. We're gonna get down in that. Right, so we're at the entrance of the German World War II fortification in Norway. This was really cool. There's like the old door hinge to the door that used to be here, and you can see some like chips in the concrete right there. Maybe that's where it was, but this would have been all dug out. It's about 3 feet higher than the floor over there, maybe more. It would have been dug out to match the trench. Let's go in here. Very cool. You see all the paint is still on here too that they painted. You could see their brush marks. It's super cool. And there's a slug friend hanging out with us. Very cool. See, it's all moisturized. Water kind of seeping through. Very cool. It's very muddy in here. Sorry, I don't have a stronger flashlight. Look at this. Very cool. All mud at the floor here. Very cool. You can see they had something here. I'm not sure what that would have been. There's a big spider in there, but I don't know what this would have been. Maybe something for ammunition or holding something. But yeah, very, very cool. You can see there's kind of like marks dug into the ceiling. I'm assuming they had something that they held, and it came down. There used to be something on the wall over there and there, maybe like tables, a bench maybe. There's another one of these ports. Then again, I think it's ammo. Very cool. There's some very big spiders in here, and I do not like spiders. See this here? This was sealed. There's stone on that side and all this. This would have been more open. And this right here is a hinge that would have had some type of like slide door. See out a little viewport here. But this would have been a little bit bigger, I believe. Because you can kind of see how they angled the sides. And this would have been a machine gun. And same on this side, this would have been another holder for a machine gun. And you got it going out there, overlooking Norway. This would have just been a guard post. But it's so cool. It is so cool. All right, on to the next. All right, so we were walking up this trail even more. We're about half a kilometer from that guard shack that we were in. We kept walking. There was a rock. It's a nice rock. This is my wife. And I stopped here because I thought this kind of looked off-putting, a little bit strange, just didn't match. We're kind of at the top of the hill, and I noticed this massive kind of hump in the vegetation here. And if you look, see all that stone? Let me see if I can zoom in. See all the stone in there? There we go, sorry. Just doesn't match. So I knew something had to have been maybe over here, like a supply, but I noticed a hole there, and I said, well, there's a hole there. That's there. And I found this, and check this out. There is definitely, we were standing on it the whole time, but there is a bunker here. Look at the roof, thick concrete. I'm gonna turn the camera in. We can't really get in this one. This is too difficult. But look at that. Isn't that awesome? It is so cool. I don't really know what's in there, and I apologize, but it is so cool that we found this. This would have been much deeper, but I wanted to think more of this. Why would this just be here? And I had to think about that more. Every bunker or something, guard shack, needs supply routes and chains. So the only thing that makes sense is this. So I kept following it. Notice there's kind of like an indentation, and then right around the corner, lo and behold, you see that? That's a trench that was definitely dug out by the Germans. All along the side here. See this? This would have looped right around. You can kind of see the old line. And it would have went right to that bunker. Carved it out of the stone. They stacked the bricks on the left side. Oh my gosh, look at this. You guys see that? That is an old door hinge. Definitely old German style door hinge. That is awesome. I'd love to keep that. I don't know if I can though. I might leave it to the elements. But that's weird that it's just sitting there. So we might find something else together over here. And we're definitely gonna look. A piece of glass. You could see the stones there, so I almost wonder if there's something more here, but I don't think so. So we're just gonna keep going. See if we could find anything more. Ugh. Mosquitoes. Yeah, see see how it indents both ways there? This is either another bunker, or I assume this was just an MG nest here on the corner. Vegetation is really overgrown, so I can't really get in there. Maybe I go up, show you guys. Yeah, see that tree grew where it's supposed to be, but you can see how this cutout is. It's kind of like a square, and then it would come around and loop back around this hilltop here. So I bet there's another bunker somewhere over here. We're gonna find it. We're gonna look. We're gonna find out. We'll stay together, and I'll see you here soon when I find something more. All right, so this is kind of the front. This is down the hill here. We're not super high either. We're actually fairly low. But this is at the corner here. And this is definitely the corner of that doorway that I showed you over there. And this is that overgrown vegetation on top, which is really, really cool. And you could see it's almost like a moss overgrow, which honestly, during the war, they probably would have put this there themselves to conceal it. But look at that. I wish I could get in there and zoom in that more for you guys. I can't get in there. But this would have been a type of machine gun nest, and all that in there is all reinforced concrete. This would have been another guard shack, which is really, really cool. You can see the concrete on that side and this side. It's really, really cool. So we're walking more on the path, and this was that trench we were talking about earlier, and it follows all the way up. I don't know what this is. This is the first time I'm seeing this too. You can see they carved it out, and it stops right here, which I think is really strange. I think there's something more to it. Where at is the question, and I'm betting, if anything, it's right there. Maybe this is another tunnel that's sealed away now or something, but very densely vegetated. But I'm gonna find out for you guys, and you're gonna follow me if you're still watching. I'm being very careful because see the tunnel here, or the trench. Actually, I'll zoom in a little. Right there, there's the trench. And it comes right where I'm standing here. I'm at the top of this wall. See how it's all carved out? I'm gonna jump down here. So this is it. Grass, probably spiders. I don't like spiders. You guys will, if you watch more, you'll know I really, really don't like spiders. And there's nests everywhere in here. It's freaking me out. Oh yeah, I'm freaked out. Yeah, this just stops here. There's nothing actually over there. I thought maybe there'd be something back there, unless there's like a door, because it looks like there could be. You know what this was? This wasn't a door. You can see there's an indent there. This was a walk path where they'd go out, so they could enter right here and just go down here, and then they would wrap around to that guard shack I showed you guys earlier, which is really cool. I'm sorry I couldn't get in it, but very cool. We'll see what we can find more. All right, so we walked off the trail a little bit. That's where we just were, and I couldn't help but feel like there's something more to this area. And we walked off this little side trail here. Lots of ants under us.
Yeah, they're climbing up.
Lots and lots of ants. My wife does not like ants. She does not like them. But see this here. Look at this. This is cut out. Look at the top there. There's something here. But this is something. Here, I'll get closer for you guys. Oh my gosh, I just walked through a spider web. I hope there's no spider on me. There is. Okay. But yeah, sorry. Yeah, look at this. This was cut out. And this maybe was something here. All right, guys, we have made it to the top. And this is the first thing I seen was something there. Look at these ants. These things were going crazy. These are small ones. There's so many. But this is at the top here. It's our first time seeing this. It's a bunker overlooking Norway. Beautiful view. Beautiful view here in Norway. But yeah, we got this bunker, German bunker here. It's all reinforced concrete. You can see the iron in there. Look at that. We'll see if we can find the entrance to this. very, very cool. This. You can see they had a pretty good view. And there's something here. See how this, it's like rocks stacked? This is either a wall, maybe it was some kind of tunnel, but this actually was a piece of the roof. This is definitely broken off of the top. Let's see. Maybe it was a tunnel of some kind. I can't tell from here. Hard to tell. But this was maybe something at one point. Let's get over here a little more. Yeah, see all this? Maybe not. But you can see the concrete in there. We're gonna try to find the entrance to this. But you could tell the view they would have had. This would have not been here. These trees would have been gone. They may have covered this for concealment, but none of this would have been here. And they would have had a view of just everything in existence here. See, this kind of seems like height here. Maybe a trench over there too. I'm gonna find out. These ants, that must be like one of their nests here. Yep, that's one of their nests right there. But yeah, oh, definitely a trench, see that? I don't know if you can see in there, but this definitely was a trench that ran to those other bunkers we've seen. And I assume the entrance is over here. And that it is. Look at that. Look at this. Oh, here's more of those ants. I don't know what kind of ants these things are. I don't know much about them, but they're everywhere. Look at that. Gosh, just slipped. Wow. Look at that. It's amazing. Baby, you want to come in the bunker? I gotta basically march in place because these ants.
I don't know what these ants are.
What kind of ants were they?
Well, they're called red one ant, and they're harmful to humans.
Really? Look at this. Oh my gosh, it's cool. Let's go in here. Look at this. Very cool. Very cool. They would have had something to stand down here. But very cool. There's iron beams there. Someone drew eyes on, and there too. There would have been two there. I'm not sure what this was. I assume maybe this was some type of ammo shaft or maybe fire, smoke. Not sure. Window. Very cool. On to the next. All right, guys, so we're walking more on our trail. We haven't explored it yet, but this is the next thing we have found. Look at that. Some type of another like guard outpost type thing, I believe. Oh, right here along this hilltop. And as I said, over there is cool. We'll go over there in a second. This would have been all gone, and that view would have been amazing. And there's another hill here, and I know there's stuff there. I'll zoom in. There's something right there. I'll zoom way in for you guys. See that? Something there. And there's something right there as well. So I know there's more. We're gonna do our best for you guys to get everything we can on these hilltops. But super, super cool. So I'm gonna come around to the back here, all reinforced concrete, and we're gonna see what we could find here. Oh, yep. See, here's a tunnel. It actually probably goes down. There might be something down there. But yes, there's an entrance right there to this. We're gonna get in there and check it out. I'll be right back. So I said I was gonna go in this one, but this one's very vacant. What I'm gonna do, it's very hard and kind of dangerous to get in. So I'm just gonna show you through the window what I can of what's in there. It's a small little guard shack in there. Very cool, very cool. And I think what we're gonna do now, we're gonna do more exploring. We're gonna go down the hill this way, and there's more that way. But first we're gonna go down here, and I'm gonna try and see if I can find anything for you guys. So it's very hidden. We were walking down the trail, and this seemed a little strange. Let's see if I can show you guys if you look. Right in there, see that? Super overgrown vegetation, but there is a bunker right here. There's a bunker right back in there, see that? Yep, right back in there. I don't know where the entrance to this one might have been, because it's so overgrown. It could have been right, I wouldn't have been from the front. It's so hard to say, and there's no trail around the back, but it's so cool. This is another like guard post overlooking everything over here. So very, very, very cool. Back in there. If I find the entrance, I'll come back to this one for you guys. I just want to show you guys this hill. That was the hill we were just on top of. I'm gonna zoom in a couple spots. Hard to maybe see. There's one of those guard spots right there at the top. That was a bigger one. The rest I honestly can't make out from here, but they had such a good viewpoint, as you could imagine, on top of that hill. Now we're going up that next one that I pointed out. It's my wave. We're going up that next one I pointed out. We're gonna see what we can find on this one for you guys. All right, guys, we just walked up the path. I was just telling you about this hill and telling you we're gonna go up this hill, and right on the opposite side, we took a look back, and that's what we found. Super cool. We're gonna walk through all this stuff for you guys, and we're gonna make our way over to that, and we're gonna show you guys what's inside this thing over here. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we're walking through this dense vegetation, through bees and everything you could imagine. We're trying to get here for you guys to show you this bunker. See, it's all cut out here and extremely vegetated. Very vegetated. We didn't really dress properly, thinking we'd have to go through so much, but we're doing it for you guys. See, they stacked the rocks. Look at this. Isn't that cool? Got a little guard shack door over there. Your old hinge spot from the Germans. Same here, would have been your old latch spots. Reinforced concrete in here. All right, we're gonna go in. Hope there's no bees and stuff. Oh, it looks good. Look at this. A lot of trash in here, but you can see they even concreted the floor, which obviously is good, but very cool. Nothing's left in here. You can see like old wood in the ceiling up there. Maybe like a old vent shaft up there. And this is where they would have had a door here. You could see old nails with wood right there. Their notches and slots, all the old wood in there. Very cool. Check this side out. You can see all this is kind of broken. All this would have been stacked right here. This would have been another walk-through door. It's kind of interesting. You got these slots. I don't know what these would have been used for, but this would have maybe been another door here of some kind. Another slot over there. See the old wood, the old screws and nails in here. I like how some of the old paint is still in here too. Wow. Very cool. You could see some of the iron inside there. very cool. All right, on to the next. All right, guys, so we just came out of that other bunker, which was right over that hill over there, this little hill ridgeline. We walked up here and took another look back. There's something more over there. We're gonna go look at that. And we also saw, I'll zoom in, kind of like rocks over here. And there's something definitely over here as well. Yeah, it's like a wall over here. Maybe lining up along like a trench line area. You could see they've been doing some work on the logs here too. So we're gonna go ahead and continue walking up. And I mean, even right here, see all these stones? This is an old building right here. This is a bigger building, improvised. I'm gonna come over here right now and show you guys this one. All this I'm walking through. We're gonna take a peek here, see what I can find for you guys. Gotta be careful what you're stepping on out here. All collapsed, all the stones are collapsed. But this was big. This is all here. You can see they would have had smooth walls inside, and this would have been a compartment. There would have been nothing on that side there, I don't think, just by the looks of it. And this would have been a compartment. I'm actually going to make my way around this for you guys. Yeah, see how they would have stacked all these stones, and they put the concrete on the inside to smoothen it, give it a texture. I guess there's a couple of stones here, but I don't see anything crazy. I see that there, that's kind of cool. There's like a hook there, although that might be newer, I'm not totally sure. And it looks like a rusted piece of metal over there. Do you guys see that? No, it's like a piece of bark, never mind. There's that other one. We're gonna look at that one here in a second, but we'll finish this one. Very cool. There you could see this would have been something like right here. Like, I'm not sure what this would have been. Maybe this would have been some type of entryway or something, because it doesn't look like there's anything else. This could have been all hidden. And this is a much bigger area. You can see all the stones are collapsed. Much bigger area. This is probably 15 foot right here. And this is probably another 15. Maybe just slightly less. There's stones up top here too. And there's concrete on the top. There's a rusted piece of metal right here. Which one? I don't know what that would have been to there. We'll just leave that there. I'd love to go explore in this, but it's too vegetated. I can't get in that. But this maybe would have been like maybe barracks of some kind or something like that. So now we're gonna actually go up to that one and we're gonna take a look at that one up there. We'll see you guys in a second. All right, guys, we just finished walking up the rest of this hill. So now we're at the top of the hill. Beautiful sight. Saw this nice picnic table, but if you look very closely, it's actually a bunker. You could see the stairs and they go down. This is a nice bunker. I'm gonna walk you guys around it real quick. I don't think this is what the Germans had on it when it was here at the time. But nevertheless, here it is for us. You can see inside it. A lot of the concrete around here is gone in some spots. Maybe it's supposed to be like that. I'm not totally sure. I think it's just gone. But this would have been, looking out, an excellent viewpoint because the water is where the mist is. This would have been an amazing, amazing viewpoint. And as you notice, I walk around here a little bit. See that? It goes around too. So this isn't a very small one. This is a decent sized one. There's some type of chute here. I'm not totally sure what this is, but it's still very cool. And then as far as the top goes, you could see like there's anchor points there and there too. See what the other anchor points might be. I don't see any more. They could just be gone. But maybe there was some type of anti-air or something here on the top. But still very, very, very cool to be up here and see all this stuff. And you know, maybe there's something over here too that would have, because this is focused that way. Maybe this one would have been focused that way, but we're gonna find everything out that you want to know. We're gonna go inside this bunker now. It's amazing. There's our entryway. Very cool. See that? It's all, that I think got sealed off or something. I'm not sure what that would have been. Very, very cool. Oh, this is bigger than I thought. Okay, we'll do some exploring together. See up here, this would have been, I think, for electrical, running electrical lines. I'm not sure what this would have been. It's still very cool. You can see it's really getting eaten away from time and breaking off. But very, very cool. Open hole there. Then there's this in here, very small entryway, very small. This is to the other side. This would have been overlooking that way. The other outpost here. And you can see where they might have had wires up there too, all the way around maybe. Maybe not up here, but at least on the back, most likely for lights, because I assume it would have been very dark in here at some times. Not sure what that would have been there. But very, very cool. All right, now we're gonna go into the third area. This was the second area. First area, this is the second there. This is the third here. We don't actually really have a flashlight in this area, but we'll do our best. My other phone has 1%. Lots of broken glass in here and very dark. Oh, cold. So there's that slot, which is interesting. Very, very cool. Oh, this is cool over here. There is, see all this here? This must have been the room where they kept electrical. There's old wires right there. See that? Very cool. They would have ran that around. And then right here, see that? There's an old German box of some kind with the old wires still there. Very old. Let's bring it closer. Very, very old. Very cool. Very cool. Just another spider friend up there for me.
I have a vent right here.
Yeah, there's a, yeah. Super cool. And then there's something over here. Another spider friend for me. Very cool. Something sealed up over there. And then there's actually a hole there. So I think maybe this would have been a chimney for fire. Because Norway, it does get cold. That's my assumption with that. It would have been a wood stove. But yeah, that's that shaft we talked about at the start. Very cool. And there's a little hole right there that may have not supposed to have been there. But very, very cool. Very cool. All right, we're gonna head out and see if we can find any more. All right, guys, we just came down this trail a decent distance from where we just were, and we have found another structure. Likewise, here's where they would have entered it. This is their trenchway to go right in, and then the door is right there. Looks like they have another trenchway there as well. We're gonna go stand above it and look at that first here. Look at this. Fascinating. Super cool. Very overgrown right here, but we might be able to still get in there. I think there's a squirrel in there. And this one's maybe has some spider friends. Very cool. I don't know. This may have had some type of roof platform at one point, but it also may have been open, judging by the holes. This was another guard shack overlooking this way, which once again, you can see a bridge in the distance over there, but they get a good viewpoint of everything. We'll just jump over that real quick. My wife won't do that. But yeah, I see another entry point for them right here. Right here, I'm willing to bet that maybe is part of the roof that it used to have. All broke off. And there's another part there and some more parts there just from over the years. But this is, get down here. This is actually still intact pretty well. Very, very well, very cool. Get your windows there. Just a magnificent overlook point. And the Germans were very smart when they built these things on these points. They had to cover, their sectors of fire, whereas this one's covering everything from there and over. The other one was covering everything from there and over as well. So, very good. And there's a lot of other mountains out here, and I know they had other things there, maybe too. But very cool. We're gonna make our way back up. Yeah. Very, very cool. There's kind of, I don't know if you can see it, but right there, there's kind of a trench there. I'm not sure if this here is another bunker of some kind, but there's definitely a trench down there. Or maybe that's just where they drained water or kept ammunition as well. If it's a smart idea to cover it. But very, very cool. Very cool. Okay, guys, so we just came down a trail from the other totally opposite side of where we were. And we have found another structure over here. There's lots of these ants in here too. They love this pine, is what it is. And we'll go up here, and this should be similar structure. You can actually, very similar to the other one, how it's all rounded and no roof. Maybe they had camo nets, something of that sort. But yeah, very, very cool as well. You can see your little hatch there and there, maybe for ammo or to hold something. Yeah, you could see the ground in this one. Under all this would be concrete, similar to what's there. And then you get your viewports there. These probably would have been, guard posts, but MG nests, watching out that direction, watching for her. But yeah, look how thick these walls are. It's probably 3 foot down there at the bottom. Very cool. The other one had like a big hole there. I'm not sure what it was for. This one is totally filled in by, vegetation now. But you also have this here. And then you have your exit way right there. And you have another exit way they built up around that too. jump across. Not the smartest thing to do way out here. But yeah, very, very, very cool. Same thing I said before. Oh, excuse me. Same thing I said before. The sector of fire would be right there. And that way, from the other two over, or the main one over there, and this one from that viewport would have been able to cover there all the way over. And then the other hill we were on with the other bunkers is right there, which is a little taller, and the same thing, they would have been able to cover it as well. You could see the fog coming in on the city over there. Very, very cool. We're going to end the video on this one. Thank you to everybody that watched it, and I hope you enjoyed it.